In today's video, we're going to discuss why Bloomberg wrote a negative article on Yieldmax and why they decided to feature my YouTube channel in that article of all YouTube channels. Yieldmax helps us earn over $500,000 per year in dividends. As you can see below, we're slightly under $500,000, but that's going to rise again. So we earn between $400,000 and $600,000 per year in dividends. So I always just say $500,000 is about what I earn per year. We're also outperforming the market with our approach using margin, cornerstone, Yieldmax, and Defiance. We're up 32%. The SP is up 21, the Nasdaq's up 22, the Dow's up 12, and the Russell's up 9. So we're beating all the indexes on a year-to-date basis with our approach, and we also beat the indexes today on a daily basis. We're at $9,000 or 0.68%, which, as you can see above, beat the Nasdaq. It also beats the S&P and Dow Jones when you factor back in my margin. So yes, we're living financially free out of our brokerage accounts using margin to get not only these dividends of over $400,000 per year, but also our outperformance of being up over 30% for the year. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. So for every $1 you put in your account, you get $4 of purchasing power. I'm just using a small amount of this over 1 million in purchasing power to get ahead. Here's my margin debt below. It's 430,000. Yes, it has gone up recently. That's because I've been adding to names on the dips. I like to say that my dividends of over 500,000 can pay back my margin debt of 400,000 in less than 1 year. But every time I start paying it down, I add more debt because why not? I'm getting paid to add this margin debt. My margin interest is around 6%. I've negotiated down twice. Many of my clients who bought my e-guides did the same thing because when you buy my e-guides, you get Discord access for life and you get my phone number for life. So please keep this in mind. So we're getting paid to use this margin, and it's how we also grow. You have to be able to grow your investments and withdraw from your account at the same time. How can you withdraw out of Yieldmax dividends when they fall by the amount of the dividends? You have to grow, and that's why Bloomberg wrote this somewhat damning article on Yieldmax, which they featured me in, and they said that yes, I had a pretty good following, but I'd like to think that the reason why they interviewed me was because not only do I use Yieldmax, but I get ahead with Yieldmax. Okay, I'm one of the only channels that I know of that's getting ahead, getting this kind of outperformance with the markets, but I'm also getting these dividends at the same time. So yes, we're earning these dividends of around 500,000, but we're also growing our account. This means that we can actually withdraw from our account and not erode our account or cannibalize our account and risk margin calls. And that's because I anchor my portfolio largely to Cornerstone, which is a 4-star fund. And here I go, I'm going to talk about Cornerstone a little bit, which it is a 4-star fund, and it moves upward, left, to right on its chart, as you can see below. Now, Cornerstone was also up big for us today. Okay, Cornerstone was up 1.89%. The indexes were up 1%, okay? The Dow was up 1.03. So Cornerstone blew away the indexes once again today, and that's how I get my growth. That's how I'm able to withdraw out of my account, okay? It's because I use vehicles like Cornerstone. Of course, I have other vehicles that I use in the portfolio that help me get this outperformance, which we'll discuss in a little bit. But on a 1-year chart, you can see Cornerstone is just taking off. And as you can see on a 10-year chart, it goes sideways to down. Why is that? Well, with Cornerstone, you have to factor back in dividends, drips, and rights offerings, okay? You have to play Cornerstone properly around its rights offerings, which many closed-end funds have rights offerings. Cornerstone is no different. So that's how we really level up our accounts here at my Discord, okay? It's with Cornerstone. We have over 1,000 members here in the Discord chat. We're pursuing the FIRE lifestyle, and we're all here on top of this rights offering announcement for Cornerstone because that's why we started this Discord, okay? It's because yes, we own Cornerstone. We have all these other channels here for your enjoyment like Roundhill, Yieldmax, Defiance, you name it. But we mainly started this Discord chat room to, again, get you that Cornerstone rights offering announcement. So if you need more help playing Cornerstone, that's in my volume 4 e-guide. So Cornerstone, again, up 1.89% today. That's CRF, the growth fund. CLM was up 1.55. We've been saying that CLM is due for a catch-up. So this is the great thing about Cornerstone. CLM now has, let's see, 6% premiums. But if we refresh this, you'll see that we're at 8.5% premiums. And CRF is at, if we refresh this, it's at 19% premium. So we're not only getting the 21% dividend every year that Cornerstone sets at its NAV, but then it drips that 21% dividend down at the NAV for free money every month for 19% gains now. every month with Cornerstone. So that's how we're really leveling up our account today, okay? It's with Cornerstone. As you can see here on this one page, my portfolios page, I don't want to show you the entire portfolio because I want to preserve my value here. If you want to follow my full portfolio, just head over to the membership section on YouTube and you can follow my live portfolio and see all of my allocations. But here we are down below. You can see that Cornerstone, we're up 47% in CLM. And we're up 30% in CRF. So we're up about $5,000 alone from Cornerstone. And then it takes its 21% dividend and drips it down at the NAV for extra money every month. So you get these days gains, you get the monthly dividends, and you get these premium gains from the drip at NAV feature that Cornerstone offers. And I don't know of any other fund that drips its 21% dividend down at the NAV that's also fully indexed. Okay, so that's how we get ahead of this channel. It's with Cornerstone. And then it's fully indexed, so that's how we use the margin. This is how we keep our performance with the indexes. We just buy the indexes, but on margin. And then on down days, Cornerstone usually falls less than the indexes. Go look at that chart of Cornerstone. And then we also have Defiance, which moves up for us some on up days, but then it moves down for us less on down days. That's how I outperform with all this margin leverage. So QQY, it was up another 1,000 for us today, $992, as you can see below. And then also we have our sold puts on QQQY. So that was up another $455 for us today. So that's how we're doing, okay? We're getting our growth through Cornerstone. And then we have other vehicles in our portfolio, like I said, that get us that growth. But then we sell put options on things like Defiance. Why wouldn't you, when the margin maintenance for Defiance is around 20% when you sell puts, okay? So I'm selling puts on QQQY. I'm lowering my risk. I'm lowering my maintenance, okay? Why wouldn't you want to do this? It's also lowering your margin. And then when you get assigned to Defiance, because eventually it will go down because it goes sideways to down on its chart. As you get assigned to Defiance, you then dollar cost average for yourself and buy low, okay? So you want to buy low, sell high, all right? And if we can find QQQY in here, you'll see that QQQY, when you sell the naked put, which is down here below, you can see it's 20% maintenance, okay? So Defiance has 30% maintenance. That's why I put so much in Defiance, but it also has 20% maintenance when you sell naked puts. If you need help understanding maintenance, that's in my volume 3 e-guide. Maintenance is the secret to everything I do here at this channel, okay? For every $1 you put in your account, you get $4 of purchasing power, as I always say, but you have to also be able to withstand margin calls. And so we can withstand over 20% corrections at all times with our account because we have over 400 grand in margin debt, but it's low maintenance, okay? So again, low maintenance is critical to using this strategy to live financially free out of your brokerage accounts, away from a 9-to-5. You need to watch your maintenance, okay? You can go to other brokers with lower maintenance than E-Trade, but they might not have that special NAV drip for Cornerstone, so please keep that in mind. Also, you don't want to go to other brokers and use more leverage just because you have lower maintenance. That means that you can just risk margin calls. So you don't want to use too much leverage. You want to use the amount of leverage that your dividends can pay back. Okay, I obviously use a little bit more leverage than most people, but that's because I'm more experienced. All right, and then I sell these options to lower my margin debt and lower my risk. All right, if you need help selling options like I do to lower your risk and lower your margin, that's in my volume 6 e-guide. I sell options and then I buy options for insurance, okay? Put options for insurance, just in case you don't know. So we can withstand over 20% corrections at all times, but if we had over a 20% correction, then our put options would make more money than we lost in the event of a crash, okay? Potentially, all right? I would assume that if we had over a 30% crash, we'd make more money in our puts than we potentially lost, all right? If you need help hedging your portfolio with put options, that's in my volume 5 e-guide. So we're getting our growth from Cornerstone, not only on days gains like you saw today, but from that NAV drip. And then we're also getting it from the sold puts that we did with Defiance and even Yieldmax. And so we have to get this growth because how do you withdraw out of your account when you fall by the amount of those dividends, especially with Yieldmax and Defiance, all right? So you have to get your growth somewhere, grow or die, and that's why Bloomberg wrote this article, again, on Yieldmax, because you're getting these big dividends, but then your account erodes by the amount of those dividends, and if those stocks don't go up, well, you have a lot of risk with those stocks, okay? Stocks can take you down. That's why I like to buy the indexes and have a total indexed approach. That's why I put so much in Cornerstone and Defiance, okay? Defiance is also really helping me outperform, all right? If you go to this other page here, when you see my portfolios, you can see that QQQY, we're down 51 grand in this. So a lot of people would freak out when they see a total gain of negative 20% and negative $50,000. Well, I received between 10 and 20,000 per month in Defiance since last October. So if you do 12 months times 10 grand or even 20 grand, which some of our months are really high with Defiance, you'll get over 120,000 that we've received from QQQY. So you have to factor in total returns with QQQY. You have to factor back in dividends, just like you would with Cornerstone, okay? But with Cornerstone, you have to play that properly around its rights offerings, okay? And again, if you need help playing Cornerstone, that's in my Volume 4 e-guide. Remember, you get free access to Discord for life, where we alert you of the Cornerstone rights offering announcement, and you get my phone number, so keep that in mind, okay? We're getting this outperformance because we have a unique blend of these funds that we put in our portfolio, and I follow the rules when using margin, okay? That's how we're getting this outperformance, but you have to do it safely. Also, these dividends give me qualifying income to bank for loans. That's how I get a house or a car. It's with these dividends. It's with this qualifying income that stocks can't provide, but dividends can provide. And then my margin debt does not show up on a credit check to banks. So not only does it pay me to use this debt because we're receiving more money from our yield than we're getting charged from our margin interest, okay? It's an arbitrage opportunity, but also it doesn't show up on a credit check to bank. So every time it gets paid down, I try to add more back because it's grow or die, okay, with Yieldmax and Defiance. All right, Cornerstone helps you get that growth, but if you're going to play Yieldmax and Defiance for your dividends and live free out of your account with those, you have to get growth. So you have to get that from Cornerstone. I do a little bit with Roundhill, but Roundhill has high maintenance and they don't really have the premiums that Cornerstone has. And then again, I have that unique portfolio blend that you can access at any time if you follow my live portfolio through YouTube, okay? So if you like this video, please click like or subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon, everyone. Thanks.